Hello, everyone. Welcome to Arcana Homesteading. We're your hosts, Sherry
and Shauna.
And today we're talking about
Homesteading Your Way.
Yes.
How to homestead. Kind of like how we came up with our name because we were thinking about it and our kind of homesteading, right? Because a lot of people gave us shit when we first were claiming or whatever. I guess it's all anybody's like a self-proclaimed homesteader, but you know,
well, you can be a self-proclaimed anything if you wanted to, right? Self-proclaimed U.S. president sitting right in front of you.
Yes. So
not that I would want that job. No, thank you.
Right? Sounds awful. But we, you know, since we don't like process animals and stuff on our homesteads, and we don't eat like meat and stuff, it was kind of like that's why how we came up with our name is just like, well, you know, we're kind of like different homesteaders, but if you really think about it, nobody's going to homestead exactly the same way. And
exactly.
People consider themselves homesteaders because as you should, you know, exactly. Like it's all like whatever. So we want to talk about just homesteading your way and how it does. You don't have to fit into a box that somebody you don't even fucking know has laid out for you. So
well, it's the same thing, you know. I mean, obviously with anything like parenting,
homeschooling,
super broad. Yeah, homeschooling, right? It's just like, you know, there's a lot of different ways to do both of those things, and just because you don't do it the same way as your neighbor doesn't mean that you're not a parent or a homeschooler
or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't think of any other cool examples besides the things that we do. But yeah,
because we're cool.
Because we're cool. Yeah. But so our kind of homesteading, we do kind of homestead differently. Like we talked about, you know, being vegetarian, being sustainable vegans.
Yes.
I said it instead of.
I said it. Good job.
Fake
yeah.
vegans.
She said. Yeah. She would always refer to herself as fake, and it's not fake
when
you
vegan.
Literally don't eat cheese when you're out. You don't have any kind of dairy when you're out. It's like only from your goats and chickens. Like.
Well,
that's like hardcore. Like most people would not be able, it is. Most people would not be able to do it.
That's how I describe myself most of the time. Hardcore. I hate sounding like you know, because like at some point somebody is going to like put some food down in front of you and be like, oh, try this, you know, and it has like a bunch of like dairy or whatever, and I'm like, I'm a vegan, but then they're like hear that I have like chickens and we eat our eggs and stuff like that, so I'm like, oh, I'm a vegan, but not really, I'm a fake vegan. It's just like hard to explain it to people, you know, and I feel like fake vegan explains it, but maybe not.
I feel like you're
I feel pretentious.
When you say fake vegan, yes, and I feel like you're trying to squash the pretentiousness.
I am trying to squash the pretentiousness.
But unfortunately, all you sound like is like, I don't
pretentious?
know. No, you don't sound pretentious at all. You sound very like what's the word? What's the phrase where you, okay, whatever. Anyways, you just sound, they're like, oh, okay, well, she's not really a vegan. She does kind of tries here and there, but she's not really. Yes, that's what it sounds like.
No, I do it.
Well, that's why when I'm standing next to you and you're like, oh, I'm a fake vegan, and you tell someone that, I'm always like, she's not really a fake. She's very much a real vegan. She just only eats her own, you know, milk and cheese and dairy products
stuff
from
that
home.
I get from my animals and farm.
And so I had to be, anyways. Because you're like, I'm a fake vegan. They're like, oh, which means 2 days a week.
It just means I don't want to eat your shit. Well, that's how it sounds, though. It totally sounds like that. I'm like, I only eat my eggs because they're better than your eggs.
Well, they are better.
And I only
100%.
drink my goat milk. But actually, when I say I only drink my eggs and milk, I actually will eat Sherry's eggs and milk because I know she cares and loves her animals. And also, our friend, Casey, she, you know, when she makes like goat cheese and stuff, I'll eat her goat cheese because I know.
And Amy, you'll eat her
Amy's
the
eggs.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's not like... It's in my circle, you know, where I know that they take care of all their little animals. So anyways, our point is there's lots of different ways that we've talked about this before, that there's lots of different ways to homestead, but you really have to find what works for you, just like in life and whatever you're doing. If you are just getting into homesteading and you're still trying to figure out your like what works and what doesn't, you do have to understand that it does take a fair amount of time. Whatever homesteading task that you are trying to accomplish or whatever the fuck you're doing, it's going to take, like, whether you're learning how to make bread, it takes time. You know, whether you have animals or plan to have animals, you know, it takes time. So just like a job or anything else, you have to put a certain amount of hours in it every day of your life.
And effort to be able to be like, okay, I feel like I know this so well that I might be able to tell someone else about it, you know, that kind of thing. And to feel like, okay, I can really do this now. And be nice to yourself, you know, like there's going to be bumps along the road. I mean, I still have bumps in my road and I've been doing it, I feel like, forever. But
well, there's lots of factors that go into it. It's not like, and as much as you can, I always blame myself when something happens. It's like, you know, a lot of the time it's outside of your control, or even if it was in your control, it's something you didn't think about. You know, there's so many fucking like multifactorial for sure.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to like mistakes that happen, you know, and things and shit that happens, like it's just, I only think of animals dying. That's the only thing that's going on in my head.
No, like right now, like with that stupid daughter flower that's attacking my tomato plants.
Oh, yeah.
Not my fault. I 100% will not take fault for that, actually. And that definitely came in on one of our starters we bought. I've never had it before, and now we have it forever. Yay!
I know. Now I can't like get seeds or anything from you, probably.
It's just like I don't know. I mean, I'm going to take like a blowtorch to my entire garden. That is how upset and
sounds
it is
very normal.
Even like last night, I'm telling Dea, my 14-year-old, and I'm like, I'm so tired of my garden and I don't know what to do. And I'm exhausted by it and I'm trying to put all this effort in. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry, Mom. You put so much effort into your garden. That sucks. I'm like, I know, it does. It does.
But I appreciate you.
But I appreciate you realizing how much effort. Crazy, right? And so that's one example of something that might
You're still getting veggies out of your garden.
No, I got plenty of cucumber, there's so many tomatoes. I'm not even joking. I'm going to pick every single green tomatoes on those plants because there's plenty. And I'm literally going to light it on fire. Because I feel like that's the only way to kill that daughter flower. Huh. Like I have to like burn it. I'm not even joking when I say I'm taking a blowtorch to my garden. I'm not gonna.
Probably shouldn't do it now.
Not now, no. But I'm gonna rip the plants out. Take all the tomatoes. Take the cucumber. Rip all the plants out. It attacked a pepper plant this morning. Just completely. What the fuck is happening and where did you come from? I just ripped the whole pepper plant out. I was nope. And then it had already gone to the other pepper plant. So I took those leaves off and now there's nothing in that box. Like no daughter flower in that box. It's all of my tomatoes. You should see my tomatoes. They're so sad. They were so beautiful and big. They have the life sucked from them.
Yeah.
So that's just one example of what can happen that's completely out of your control. A terrible example.
It's not a terrible example. It's
no,
a great
an
example.
awful, like,
devastating.
Awful, devastating example. Like, my garden was going so well, and I was just so proud of it, and then all these seeds, and yeah, everything is very much dying right now.
Well, yeah, which gets back to, like, when you are planning to homestead, even regardless of how you are going to homestead, there's all different ways. Some people are urban homesteaders, and they homestead without any kind of, or very limited amount of land.
Right.
Some people
which can totally be done, by the way, especially if you were
especially if you have like a decent sized backyard. Like the things you can do, especially if you're doing like vertical gardens and stuff, you can grow up instead of out. You know, so there's lots of different ways specifically for gardening. I know when it comes to having
raising animals, that would be a bit more like that's just something. Unfortunately, you're going to need a certain amount of space depending on what animal. Now, if you're like, oh, I just want 5 chickens, I mean, you could probably get away with that as long as it's within your regulations.
Ordinance,
like, exactly, if you're where you live. But
and you wouldn't be able to have like a rooster.
Easy.
Yeah, chickens are
easy.
easy.
You can have roosters, but don't worry, that's not a big deal. And hope that's
you don't need a rooster.
I
you
wish
still will have eggs. I promise.
I wish I couldn't have roosters. That'd be a great law to abide by.
I just lost another.
I'd be like, yes, I will give them to my dogs.
Aww.
No, I fucking hate them all. We have all those babies out
Sherry's
the house.
still pregnant and angry if you haven't.
I'm not angry. I never like roosters.
I know.
There's one rooster on our property. There's 2 that I like a lot. They can stay. The other, we have all these babies down the house, and they all turned in. They're all roosters. There's like 8 roosters in my house.
I think if people if regular listeners, or you know, if you guys are new to the show or whatever, if you looked back at some like pre-pregnant Sherry videos or listened to them, she would sound much different from, you know, when pregnant Sherry.
I Do I really?
Yeah.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, you're way more like negative Nancy.
blunt. I'm not being negative. I'm in a great mood today.
No.
And I specifically was driving here, and I was like, okay, positive Peggy today. Okay, positive. Peggy.
Get negative Nancy out the window. She's
her
not
ass
allowed.
right out of the car. I was like, I might be exhausted.
Like, what's a P name? I was thinking Polly, but Peggy works.
I might be exhausted from spending 17 fucking days at our state fair with our girls and Shauna's kids doing vaulting. I might have the life sucked out of me, but I'm still going to be positive Peggy today. And I was like, I'm doing it. It's happening. So I
Peggy
resent that remark,
ego.
by the way.
I just
you're like, no, you're still negative. I'm like,
that's
well,
just
fuck
how
you then. Fine. Here comes
negative Nancy.
You want to see some negativity.
I just, how you talk about things when you get onto it, you're very like, it's
blunt. Very, very blunt.
Yeah, and I know that's just you as a person
exactly.
anyways,
that is just
but like
me.
it's more so.
It's exemplified.
It is.
Yeah.
So that's
it's
all.
fine.
No, yeah, that's all. I just you know, somebody else that one of our mom's friends that listens to it, she had mentioned something. They're like, "Wow, you can really tell Sherry's pregnant." I was like, "Yes, you can."
Well, I mean, you definitely can tell.
No, like
just
she just is listening. No looking, just listening.
I passed I passed all the guys at State Fair. I think it was one of our fucking last days there, and all the crew, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was like, "Where'd you get that watermelon?" Well, I had watermelon on a plate, and I was like, "It's in the cabin. Go get your own." Like, you know, just being like super sassy back to them because they're like, that's our relationship, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're sassy to me, I'm sassy to you. I'm better at it, obviously.
Have a good day.
And they're like, no, the other watermelon. And I was like, you know what? She's not even a watermelon yet. That's the terrible thing is I still have 3 months to go. So
I know it's
don't say she's that size yet.
I know. I feel like you're so much bigger than you've ever been.
I know. This far along, you know.
Yeah.
Like I still have like 3 months to go, and
Your
I feel
belly's
like
all
gigantic.
over the place.
Yeah.
You are gigantic. You feel that way because you are.
But I was like so confused. I was like, it's in the cabin. Go get your own. Like, you're not taking this watermelon. It's for my kids.
He's like
standing
no,
around
I mean, the
doing
other watermelon. You're like, if I could throw this watermelon at you, I would. Yes. So, there. I was gonna say something, and we went on a rant about watermelon. That's like all I can think about. Are my melons in the garden and how I need to tie them up before they fall off the vine.
What do you mean? We're just talking about, you know,
homesteading. Oh, we're talking
your
about
way.
urban homesteading.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
And then, you know, and even if you have a small amount of acreage, like, you know, 1 acre, 2 acres and up, like you can absolutely like do it. If you have no land at all, there's like homesteading is really, if you like think about it, it's really like being sustainable and
just trying to just do and make as much as you can and not have to buy as much.
Exactly.
Now, don't get me wrong,
reusing things, repurposing things for different things. You're just like, if you don't like, if you can't make it or whatever, then you don't really like need it type of mentality. Now, and like I understand, like when you have kids, that kind of goes out the window because kids want fucking everything. But you know, for the most part, it's like very like just being like having that mindset of being like, what can I, and without being a hoarder.
Make flip-flops. I need those. I could make clothes. I choose not to. So it's also like basically within your comfort zone of what can you make and do.
And how you want to homestead.
Or how like you want to homestead.
And like
I have absolutely no, like 100%, I do not want to make clothes. I will never. I would never. It sounds awful.
I want to
But I'm sure for other people that sounds swell and they do it all the time.
It sounds swell.
Which is great. Then you should. But so that's what I mean. Just because like I don't want to make clothes and you do want to make clothes doesn't mean like you're, you know, necessarily like more of a homesteader. And that's our whole point. Is like homesteading is just what fits into your life and what makes you happy and brings you joy.
And some people that are homesteaders, they don't have any animals at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people have you know, they won't have a garden, and people think that's like a huge part. Like, but you can still, if you don't have a garden and you want to, you know, homestead more, there's a bunch of things you can do. You can go to farms, you can go to farmers markets and buy stuff in bulk. You can still preserve, because like preserving is like a really large part of homesteading, and trying to like have food for all year long that you've, you know, either grown or, you know, got locally or something like that. So it's just kind of like changing your mindset more or less than having to and like Sherry said, doing what's comfortable for you. So
yes, exactly.
if you're like, well, fuck, like I hate making fucking bread, like don't fucking make bread then. Like, it's okay. If you're great at gardening, you do you, boo.
Well, and we've also talked about like there's a season for everything. So just because you can't make bread now because you have like 4 little kids running around doesn't mean you're never going to be able to make bread. So keep that in your mind too. Like, yes, that is going to come, just not right now. And like that's kind of where I'm at actually with the garden too, as much as I'm really over it because it's just not the season for it. And I should have.
She wants to take a flamethrower to it, so yeah, she should probably let it go for a little bit.
I just need to let it go. I do need to just let it go. I need to just like, okay, harvest the veggies.
Are you gonna do the garlic and the?
I don't think I'm going to be honest.
It's so easy. Garlic's
no,
so
I know,
easy.
I know. But like when you say it's so easy, it's still time consuming, and it still is like a matter of like putting effort into it.
It's really not, because you already have the boxes. You're gonna take everything out and flamethrow it, then like like it'll
burn it
all, and then all you have to do is pop some of the in the ground, and then
noises. She loves her noises.
Then you're golden. They don't.
I mean, I should do that.
It's not
I really
even like
should.
you need to go out and like water them a bunch because it's like through the winter. It's like
that's
the
a
rain.
good point.
It's really easy.
That's a
I'm
really
saying
good
garlic
point.
is so easy.
Maybe I will do that. Just remind me when it needs to happen because I'm not going to remember. I'll be in like baby zone and
you will because it's like right in October.
Exactly. She'll have just been born and I'll be like, plant the what? And you're gonna be like, the garlic. Go plant it quickly. I'll be like,
well,
right.
honestly, like even if we get the garlic and we can just have like the boys or somebody go and plant it for you.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's not like it is like that's not even time consuming. You're just like, here's a hole, here's a garlic. Here's a hole, here's a garlic. Like,
yeah.
It's so simple.
No, I will. But that is where I'm at, and I kind of wish I actually just didn't do the garden because now I'm like, oh my god, I do have slight remorse like ripping those plants out, because they're still like kind of alive, and I'm like, ugh.
I have.
But then again, I'm just like,
a problem, and I don't know if it's like if this is like most people that garden or if it's like a mothery nurturing thing, but once something's like alive and growing,
you don't want to let it go.
I have to like keep it alive and growing,
like
until it's either the end of its life cycle where it's like natural life
and that's
cycle.
exactly how I feel, which causes stress in my family. You know what I mean? Like this morning, the kids are exhausted. I'm exhausted, and I'm like, you guys, I'm going outside. Get up. Well, Corelli, Dave was already up, like doing things. And let's get going kind of thing. And then like they're like, oh, I need this. And I'm like, I have to go outside. And so see, it starts like this. The ball already starts to roll of the whole like negativity shit in the morning. And like, I was up there watering the garden all like frantically and mad. And I'm like, why am I even doing this? This is so stupid. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't
just
do
like,
it.
let it go.
Or
sing the song, people.
Sing the song. What about like your mother-in-law? Just have.
They left.
Oh, they left. Silent.
I woke up yesterday.
Is that a
super
good
funny.
Scream or a bad scream?
I think it was an okay scream actually. But I woke up yesterday morning,
curdling,
and that was our morning like to sleep in, but we didn't because Legend was like, I'm awake at 9:30. What the fuck are you doing? Okay, whatever. The morning before that, when I needed him awake at 9:30, he slept in until 11. I'd like pick him up and put him in the fucking car. Whatever. So anyways, I wake up and we get into the kitchen and it's a mess. Like the kitchen is a mess. And of course I didn't notice it the night before because it was like 1:00 when we got home. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on in here? Because my mother-in-law keeps the place so clean. The sink is just filled. There's old water in the sink. Totally my husband's thing. Oh my God. Throw it outside, you spaz. There's ants fucking everywhere.
Sure.
I mean, it looked like a bomb went off my kitchen. Compared to how my mother-in-law keeps it. And I'm like, oh, she's definitely not here. She would never leave it like this. Like, she would never allow it to be like this.
Yeah.
Because she, like, has, like, everything has to be clean, like, that kind of, like, mentality. So I'm like, girls, go knock on their door, which is the girls' bedroom, and see if they say something. And they're like, we don't want to. I'm like, go knock on their door. And so they go, they knock, 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 knock. No one. And they open it, and, like, all their bags are gone. The room is, like, spick and span. I'm like, okay. It's okay. They're really great, and she's, like, insanely helpful, but it is kind of difficult to not just, like, have your home.
Oh, yeah. That's stressful.
Because we've been sharing it with them like for a month now. And it's like...
It's stressful.
It can be stressful, right.
Like as much as she's helpful and cleans and like does things.
Well, I can't walk out without a bra on, for example. Because I feel really weird in front of my father-in-law.
Yeah.
I have to put my uncomfortable ass tight bra on in the morning and be like, good morning. Have my bra on for you. You're welcome. Stupid.
I hate that.
I
tell like when
it's
people
annoying,
are like
not just one thing.
Randomly. We don't have a lot of like random visitors. Like people just showing up. But sometimes like Casey or Amy will be like, I'm 5 minutes away, and like have to like drop something off. I'm like, okay, well, like I have to put a bra on really fast.
Right. It's like, like.
Can't like come screaming out there with the girls all over the place. It's not good for anybody.
Flopping all willy-nilly. Not good for anyone, including me, okay?
Like, Jesus. Like, thank you for the phone call. Like, you always have
Next
to
time,
call
tell me
me
when you're 10 minutes away.
I know.
I last night, I'm sitting there, we watched Greatest Showman last night.
Maybe I'll put my pants on if you give me 10 minutes. It's either pants or a bra. You pick.
You choose. Okay. I choose the bra. I would choose the bra.
I don't need pants. I'm fine. It's like a bikini bottom. Like, who cares, Like,
over it.
If this is bugging you, don't come over.
Yes,
yeah, that's note to everybody, okay? If you don't want to see me either braless or pantsless, you probably shouldn't come over.
This is why we have property, okay? No one needs to see us.
We don't need. We don't need anything from anybody. We're good.
So we're sitting there watching Greatest Showman last night, and like it's getting kind of late. I'm like, okay, we need to wrap this up. Like, we got to go to bed. And they're like, we want to finish the movie. So we finish the movie, and it gets to a certain time where I'm like, okay, Lorenzo and whoever the hell else is up there with him, one of his bajillion friends, definitely not coming down. It's just getting too late, and he's tired. He's probably in bed.
The bra's coming off.
We're good. Bra's coming off, right? Literally, I legit like take my bra off as I'm sitting there on the couch, and it's so relieving.
Yeah.
And like my bra's been so tight lately because my boobs are so much bigger, and it's like so
They are a lot
uncomfortable.
bigger.
And so like, take the bra off. I'm like, yes. You just lay back, like freedom. And then literally out of my peripheral vision, I see a flashlight literally headed down the hill.
Oh my God.
From our big window there. I'm like, son of a fucking bitch. Are you? How? Like, I literally just took my bra off. They knew. Oh my God. So I like grab my bra and dash into my room because I was not going to be able to put it on right then and there without them coming in.
You should have just
like,
taken off your pants at that point.
Yeah. Lorenzo would have been like, Mom.
Even like, this is what you get for not telling me you're coming over with friends.
Well, see, I usually will text him and be like, hey, hon, are you planning on coming down? Because we're going to bed. But when I say we're going to bed, I mean, I'm taking my bra off. That's a translation.
And maybe my pants.
And
it's hot out.
I didn't
How do people wear pants when it's hot?
That's right. I didn't text him, and I should have texted him because here comes him and Daniel, and they're like, hello, blah, 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 pasta eating hungry children.
Pasta eating hungry children.
So I was like, okay, it's fine. I had to put my stupid bra back on. Very obnoxious.
That is so obnoxious.
Yeah.
And you have to like jump up and be all like,
oh, I dashed up. I
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
Johnny on the spot in my bedroom,
Yeah.
grab my bra, run in, slam the door, and literally I just had it on and pulling my shirt down when I heard like him open the door and be like, bloody blah, 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 and like talking to the girls.
Blah,
And, like,
blah.
I would come, I'm like, hi, super happy you're
always
here.
looking like this. A very normal person here.
Well, I was wearing a pair of Juan's boxers too, just because it was hot, and I was like, I'm not putting on pajama pants, and I don't have any pajama shorts. It's weird.
That is weird.
I just am realizing that, but I don't. So I probably should get some.
I mean, why though? Like
I'm just stealing my husband's boxers. Like that's all there's. He has a bajillion of
Yeah.
them. And so, anyways, I'm wearing his boxers and the pajama shirt. And I have a bra on, and
You're
Lorenzo
welcome.
still is like, okay, gives me this like up and down and like, what the fuck ever, Mom. I'm like, what? And they're shorts.
covering my ass. So
Exactly.
you're fucking welcome.
You're very welcome. You and Daniel, very welcome.
Like Jesus.
It was so funny.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
But
Good
yeah,
times.
Good times. So yeah, we got off on a tangent about bras and pants. What were we doing?
Yeah, so I think, definitely have an open mind when it comes to homesteading. Oh, the other thing is you can, things 100%, just like in life in general, things will change and progress. You might learn that you hate something, so just stop. And
Just stop?
just stop. Don't even worry about
Unless
it. It's not
like,
a competition.
Unless it's like,
parenting your kids or something. Don't stop that.
or like an animal that like needs you to go out and feed and water it. Like get rid of the animal, but don't like Thank you.
It's fine.
But don't,
You're echoing throughout the room. It's the only way we're hearing you.
Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. No, and I'm not. We've said that before. We're not all about like, oh, you know what? I actually don't like this animal, so I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
get rid of it. I mean, I suppose if you're not giving it the best home, then maybe that's the best option for that animal, but do a lot of research before you get into the whole animal shit. Like with the garden, I mean, you can just fucking let it die. It's no one's going to be like have their feelings hurt. But with animals, that's a different story. Like they have emotions, feelings, all that good stuff. So, but and also things will progress and you most definitely will just accumulate more and more talents when it comes to homesteading. You're going to pick up more. You're going to be like, oh, now I'm going to do that. I've learned this, and now I'm going to learn this. And so, yeah, just keep a very open mind because things are always going to be changing.
I was going to say, too, that, like, there is, like, I don't know if it's, like, a trend or a fucking thing or what, but, like, of the minimalist homesteader, like, you have to be a minimalist to be a homesteader. Like, you can't have things or, like, want to go to Starbucks and stuff. I don't know. It's like a thing.
Oh, I was like
all
I've
over.
Literally...
Like you should have less stuff to be a homesteader. And even when you see like the super cute things on like Instagram of their house, and it's all like super like there's not a lot going on. They have like their cute old stove that's from like the 1800s or what the fuck ever. Like, do you cook on that? Is that just like a fucking?
Does that actually work?
Does it work? Because
I
mean, it sounds adorable, but things have to be not just like functional, but like you don't have to necessarily, like I'm not a minimalist by any means.
No, I'm not
I
either.
definitely would like to get rid of shit and more shit, and that sounds great, but like I can't just think about like myself and my wants since I have, other people that live with me, including my children.
I think minimalism and homesteading could go hand in hand, but they also don't.
They don't have
100%
to.
do not have
so
to.
So don't think that you have to like go and get rid of everything and move out to the country. That sounds great actually. That sounds awesome.
Well, you do live in the country.
No, I mean like into
getting
the woods.
Rid of anything. Oh,
I don't want to like.
You mean away from society as a whole?
I want to be away from society.
But see, then you won't have.
I want to like frolic with ponies and fairies and creeks. And
fairies don't exist.
But still, just like get the idea of it. It's
that's
all like
weird.
Yeah, that's what I want.
You're strange. You're a strange one.
I am.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that minimalism and homesteading, they could go hand in hand, but anything can go with homesteading. I mean, you could also be a super bougie homesteader. I mean, if that went hand in hand, our point is, I think it's whatever like speaks to you, and like you shouldn't do something just because you see it on Instagram or you see this and you're like, oh, okay, well that must be how it is. You get to make up the rules. It's your fucking life.
Even if you read it, if you have all these homesteading books and they say in this homesteading book, this has to be this way. It does not. That person that wrote that book does it that way and it works for them.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So don't like get hung up on that. There's all these like rules. Like, yes, there are some when it comes specifically to like fucking canning. There's rules to canning. Otherwise, you're going to get botulism. Like there are rules that you need to follow, but there's not like, like generally speaking, there's not like a bunch of set rules. I just want to like,
that's a great point. We're not talking about like specific rules, like Shauna said about like canning, for example, or like, gardening. Even with gardening, there's a lot of
wiggle room.
Yeah, a lot of wiggle room and a lot of whatever you want to do kind of thing. But for example, your plants still need fucking watered. There's no getting around that. Mm-hmm. Canning still has certain procedures you have to follow. So like Shauna says, you don't get sick and die. You know what I mean? It's just like,
death is bad.
But we're not talking about those specifications. We're talking about just in general, what you want your homesteading life to look like.
And don't feel bad for calling yourself a homesteader either, even if it doesn't look like, Johnny Farmer down the road homesteader. Like it can be completely different and it's okay. Yeah. So making up your own way of how you do things is not and then you can write a fucking book and then people can be like, oh, that's how you should do it.
She knows what she's talking about. Be like, yep, sure did. Got it published. Ha, know what I'm talking about. It's like, that's the thing with books. It's like anyone can get a fucking book published and more or less it's like who you know, right? And
self-publishing.
Right, self-publishing. And so it's like, just because you pick up a book and read it doesn't mean that's like 100%
set in stone
and this is how it has to go.
Yeah. And so that's just it. And like Sherry said, giving yourself breaks, giving yourself some, being nice to yourself. Like, if like things don't go exactly how you had them pictured in your head, because usually how you have things pictured in your head is like a romanticized.
Yeah, romanticized version.
Romanticized. That sounds wrong.
And it's not. And people will often romanticize things, whether that's like whatever weird things,
and
even
like,
right.
And nostalgia
so it's like
plays like like you're like, oh, even if you weren't there, like you think of like, oh, my great grandfather owned a cattle ranch in the middle. It's like, okay, great, fantastic.
It doesn't mean you have to run cattle.
Yeah, so there's like, you have to like do, and you have to be really, really honest with yourself and who you are.
Exactly.
Like, if you're not the person, if you're like go out and you're like, ew, dirt, like, maybe do inside homesteady things.
Yes. And that's very true. And being honest with yourself and
about everything, even about how much time you have.
Yes, and not trying to push yourself past either your comfort zone or past the limits you have, whether that's like you being like, I work a 9 to 5 and like these are the amount of effort and hours I can put into that. Like, you have to be real about it. Like, don't romanticize it to a point where you're like, oh shit, I got into this and it's definitely not going to work out because I just don't have any time for it. Definitely try new things, but definitely work within your limits and know yourself well.
Yeah, really well, because I think we have seen it firsthand where people,
they think it's what they want and they get into it and they jump with both feet.
But they jump like full force and they get so many animals and things and then they are struggling and then they end up hating it and having to get rid of everything, and really it could have all been avoided if they probably could have really honestly loved it, because a lot of people that are, even if you're like interested in homesteading, you have a draw to it. Obviously it's like,
something is speaking to you.
Yeah, something's speaking to you, but you can really ruin it for yourself very quickly if you're like, like, oh, we bought a piece of land. We got all of our animals up there. We don't have any fencing yet. We're just going to live in a trailer. It's going to be great. And then, like you're living in a fucking trailer with your 5 kids and you're trying to take care of animals that you have no idea what to do, and it's raining and it's muddy and you're like, this fucking sucks. So like, you really have to know yourself, be honest with yourself, and take things slow, which we have said many, many times.
Yeah, we've said it so many times, taking it slow, but I don't think we can stress enough, because if you take things slow, you can learn slowly. And all of these things with homesteading have very steep learning curves, and a lot of shit can be thrown at you very quickly, whether that's animals getting sick, whether that's a predator load that you had no idea about, whether that's something with your garden. I mean, there's just so many different things with each thing. And so yeah, just taking things super slow and be like, we're going to start with chickens and we're doing this for at least 6 months until we get something else. Like, the thing is, it's not a fucking race. Like, it's not a competition. You don't have to like, oh, I'm the best homesteader out there. Well, no, you're definitely not going to be if you do that. Like,
we're the best.
That's I already have that place taken. Joking. Sorry. No, we definitely are not. Nope. I'm not claiming to be whatsoever. I don't even want to be.
Don't want to be. That's the thing with who we are as people. We'll never like be like the greatest at anything, because we don't have that like that drive. What is that? I don't know. Is it competitiveness?
Ass holiness?
I don't know. I have no desire to be like, I just want to live my life. I want to chill. I want to enjoy my family. I don't need to like street cred or anything.
Okay, well, the thing with me personally, and I know this is the same with Shauna, is that if there is something in my life that's getting completely all of my attention, it's going to be my kids. And because that is my best and greatest, product, right? If you want to call it that. Like, it's like I'm raising legit tiny humans to become big humans who have to be good humans. And in order for them to be good humans, I completely am like all for like, just parenting really, really well and being connected to your kids. So yeah, fuck homesteading if that would be get in my way, which is what I was just talking about earlier, right? It is getting in my way. My garden is right now. And I know things are drastically changing for our family. We're about to welcome a new baby. And
there's a season for everything.
There's a season for everything. And I need to let the gardening go so that I can focus on what is most important to me in my life. And it doesn't mean I'm not going to be homesteading still. I still have all the fucking animals. I'm still going to be milking. So it's just letting go of my garden. It's just one less thing I have to worry about. And it's kind of a big deal. It's just quite a bit out of my day. Because, with a garden, if you've never gardened before, you don't just get to go in and water it and then be done and walk away. Like, there's so much shit you have to do with your garden to keep it alive and doing really well and thriving, you know? And so it's like, it's just not the season for me.
Well, and, like, so my kids are 10 and 11, and they come out to the garden with me. Not usually in the mornings, but they come out with me in the evenings. And so it's just like, it's very simple for me because my kids are that age. We also take, my little sister's baby. The kids play with her in the garden. Sometimes she pulls out tomatoes that she shouldn't, but that's fine. I didn't freak out the other day, so it's cool.
Just put those tomatoes in a bag with some bananas.
I know. Well, they were like not even like
ready to be pulled
at all. They're like small.
Legend did that the other day. I was in trying to find tomato worms. He was like, plucky, pluck, 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 pluck. And he's like, has like 15 fucking green tomatoes in his hands. And I was like,
did you put them in a bag?
Sweet. I did, with bananas. And then my mother-in-law took them out of the bag.
No.
I was like, why? And the thing is, she left the bag in the pantry and just took out the bananas and tomatoes. Hun, why do you think do you think it was an accident? Just green tomatoes and a banana? Yes, I fucking put them back.
And were they turning? Because they take like a couple weeks to turn.
Leave them alone.
Yeah.
I'm going to put them back, and hopefully that is my signal to you to hopefully, I can't speak to her, so hopefully you just leave them alone. And she did. They were not moved again, but I was just like, that's so weird, and you would leave the bag there. Just very weird. Very, very strange.
Does she leave the banana in there?
No, put the banana out. As if someone's going to eat this like old, super gross brown banana. I know my husband will, but it's weird.
That is gross.
It's so, I'm sorry, I just can't. Like bananas that go brown are used in banana bread. This is what we use them for.
Also,
and I know, yes, they have all the fucking shit in them is better when they're all brown and gross and super soggy.
No,
but
I was going to say that
I cannot eat them.
The peels, this little fun fact, if you can save the banana peels, even if it's not a brown banana peel, you can save any banana peel. All the banana peels should be saved. Stick them in a mason jar and fill it with water. Put the lid on and then set it aside for like 2 days. And then it'll be this amazing potassium-rich water that you can give to your plants, either your indoor plants, outdoor plants. They love it. And it is such a simple thing to do and a way to use your banana peels.
Instead of just discarding them.
And even when I keep the banana peels in there when I'm dumping out the water, I'll even just throw the banana peel into the garden bed, and let it just decompose in the garden bed. You can dig it under the dirt if you're worried about like gnats and stuff like that. So yeah, obviously I would have thrown it in the compost anyways, but then it's just a way during gardening season.
Yeah, it's a way to give your plants like direct potassium.
Yeah, it's kind of easy and
very cool.
Yeah, that's what we do.
I love little tidbits of knowledge.
I do too. I just did it yesterday. I have some banana water that'll be ready tomorrow, and it helps with your tomatoes. So, So yeah. Do you have anything else? Homesteading your way? How to homestead your way?
I think we covered it all. I don't know what else to say besides just like what we already said about
being true to yourself.
Giving yourself time, take it slow. Blah, blah,
don't beat yourself up. Like, shit's going to happen regardless if you
you're going to make mistakes. I know we kind of already covered that, but like.
And having, we've talked about this before, but having like a plan and having goals that are realistic goals, and, just doing the best you can with what you have. So like we said, like being sustainable as much as possible within your means. So like it doesn't, you don't have to like break the bank to like go and be a homesteader. You can do it with limited funds if you
break the bank on Starbucks
or Disneyland.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for Disneyland.
I know, me too.
Yes, and
that
covers it.
Yeah, that covers it. So we are all done with State Fair. We had the day off yesterday. I
didn't feel like it was a day off though, because they have another fucking show today, which is great, and they're very excited about it. But it was just crazy to me.
Not for State Fair, but we just have like
just some random fucking show at some random arena. And so, like, our day off consisted of me washing, like, hand washing, legit, like, actually, Dea helped. She actually washed most of them, but a billion costumes, drying them, and then my husband, like, okay, when you see something drying, clearly, since it's wet and it's hanging over the shower, you can move it, but then you must move it back. just how it was. And I get Corelli's costumes out of my bathroom. I go into the other bathroom, which Juan always uses, and the costumes are all bunched to the like on top of them, and they're very, very wet still. And that's this morning, and I'm like,
I hate you.
Deep breaths, Sherry, deep breaths. And he's lucky he's not home.
Right?
Because it would have been a scene.
Oh, yeah.
A scene.
Yeah.
And I know I sound like a crazy psychotic bitch.
Probably.
I just kind of am when I'm pregnant. And you think my husband would be like, I'm going to try to do everything as perfectly as possible.
I think it's
Costumes. These are clearly costumes. These are not what the children wear on an everyday basis. I very much obviously needed them for something. You know what I mean? It bothered me so much how he can be so completely oblivious to like every bit of his surroundings sometimes.
It's hard. Being male is
It's hard. And so I oh my God, fuck. And so I had to toss them in the dryer, and then I hung some outside, which I was avoiding because the chickens will like legit fly onto my clothes that are on the fence and like shit on them.
What?
I don't know.
Why'd you put up a clothesline?
I need to. We had one, and then I don't know if my husband, I don't know what he did with it, to be honest.
I love our clothesline. But
the chickens would not be able to fly on that, so
exactly.
I should definitely
mine's fine. Like it's back there and it's
undisturbed.
I thought like when I put like a larger blanket, I thought the dog, Shanley's dog, would like grab it and pull it down because he's an ass. But no, it's been fine. Now that I say that, I should like knock on some wood. But yeah, so we have a show today with the kids, but I'm just so happy to be home and back because like homesteading is. And just like,
well, it takes so much time, and it's like the
not
fair,
just time,
the state
but
fair
like
was like
I really
17
enjoy
days.
it, and as much as like the kids, like I want to be there for the kids, and I want them to enjoy their thing. It was just such a long stretch of time where I couldn't like
you can't enjoy your homesteading.
I can't enjoy what I really want, and I was like even
100%
thinking about podcasting today, and I was like, okay, like I'm excited to get back into like the homesteading swing of like my life. Like even last night in the garden and like being out there and just walking around and looking at my plants and, admiring everything. And I'm like, it's still alive. Good job, honey. My husband.
Oh, because he was watering.
The
girls, I was like, come on, we got to go. And then Corelli, she knew where we were going, but I don't know if she forgot, whatever. And where are we going? What do you mean? It's not till later. I was like, we have to go to Auntie's to podcast. And she was like, oh my God, I don't want to go. And I'm like hold up. Who did I just take to State Fair 17 fucking goddamn days in a row? That was you and your sister. You ungrateful little bitch. Like, are you kidding me? I was so like shocked. I was just like, and then she's like, why are you getting so mad? I just said I didn't want to go there. Would you feel upset or betrayed if I said
betrayal?
I don't want to go. I don't want to go to State Fair. I'm too tired because, by the way, I could have said that 3 days in.
Oh yeah.
For every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was exhausting.
And so I was trying to explain it to her, and she was all like moody Molly, and so she was just like, whatever. And I'm like, well, I was like, oh my God, yes, fine, walk away. I do not want to do this with you right now. But it was seriously crazy. And I was like, honey, I enjoy podcasting very much how you enjoy going and doing acrobatics on horseback. Yeah. You enjoy that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I support you. You need to support me. Mm-hmm. You will support me. Well, I demand it.
And like, it's not like I don't know.
I don't do this every day for 17 days straight, by the way, for hours.
I know.
Oh my God. It's like
I mean, I guess we could if we wanted to, but we don't.
Maybe I'll start. Maybe I'll start.
Like 17 days in a row. Let's go, kids.
Talking on the microphone. No idea why. Just sitting here to piss off my kids.
We should do it. Oh God. It was a long stint, but then we have another fair next week that they have a show for. And then we have one in September. And then we're free. Well, we might have one in October, but it's like a one-day thing, so it's not a big deal. And then I think we're done for the winter, which is super exciting. I've never been so excited about winter. I love winter.
I know.
I love the fall, but I'm like, because it like usually is like you feel a little bit slower paced on the homestead. Like you feel like you can like take a breath from like the whole like gardening scene and stuff. Like, and then on top of that, it's going to be even like a break from the kids like vaulting shows. And they still will be vaulting, like practicing, but we won't have like all the performances and all the craziness that goes along with it. So it's just going to be like, and the drama, like Jesus Christ, the drama. Like put a bunch of girls
well,
together.
and you have right. That's what it is, right? You have
I mean,
like
my
all
son
these
also
girls.
vaults, but most of them are girls.
Most of them are girls, the majority, and like you have all these girls, and they're all like together for 17 days straight. It's like, well, you're gonna have some shit go down. I mean, that's for damn sure.
Shit did go down,
and
indeed.
shit did go down, indeed, for sure.
So yeah, it just gets
mentally and physically exhausting.
I know, but honestly,
super fun. I loved watching the kids, and they're amazing at what they do, and they've all 4 of them have grown like so much within like their vaulting world, and just doing amazing things that I could never do.
I tell my kids I can do it, but I can't. My kids are really proud of me when I got up on the barrel. They were like telling everybody, they're like, my mom stood on a barrel. I was like, I did. The barrel was perfectly still and I stood on it.
Talented. Excessive talent coming out of this woman. So fucking funny.
Anyways, I think that is all for today.
Yes.
We hope we gave you a little bit of wisdom on just to chill the fuck out and to homestead your way and not worry about all the bitches that are haters.
Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh my God.
And there's always going to be.
I really wouldn't suggest going on Instagram if you are starting a homestead. Because by the way, like most of those photos, fucking fake. You know, like you have to remember it's just within the camera lens that you're seeing. For example, right now, within this camera lens frame, you're seeing me and my beautiful sister. We have a backdrop behind us. Mm-hmm. The entire rest of this room,
it's a goddamn mess,
is insane. You can't see it though. You would never know unless I told you that. So that's my point. Usually on Instagram,
even behind this backdrop,
crap.
To that side of me, to that side of her. There's just like I said, I'm not a minimalist.
Looks like a tornado.
But sometimes I'm
which
like,
is fine.
damn. You know how you
my
have
house is the same way.
You know you have that room where all the shit goes.
This is that room.
That's this room.
But we make it look, from your perspective, this looks like a perfectly like, oh yeah, nice and clean, nice and whatever, and it's organized. No,
that was like one of the hardest parts of like adding the video aspect to like YouTube. And
yeah,
stuff
we were like,
that.
Where the fuck
I was
are we
like,
gonna do this?
Well, like we are not like clean people, you know. Like even when I take a picture for Instagram and stuff, like only that spot that I'm taking the picture is clean
in that moment. The next moment, it's very not clean,
and it's just like there's lots of clutter,
and
stuff
that's
like
I think
that.
what we're talking when we say like, be honest with who you are, be true to yourself, only do things that is going to be within your comfort zone,
and it speaks to you. Don't do
and
things
it speaks
if
to you.
You
exactly.
fucking hate. Like I said, if you hate baking, if you hate gardening, don't fucking do it. You can still be a homesteader.
Exactly.
You got it.
Exactly.
So or if you don't want to have animals, that's okay, and you just want to garden. Like anything in that realm of just trying to be like more sustainable.
But if you do go on Instagram especially as a newish homesteader, definitely don't just take it with a grain of salt. Most of that shit is staged, all of it's staged, and then some of it's even very fake. And so like, don't even fucking worry about it. Like don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, even like Sherry said, our stuff like we still like. I mean,
we stage it.
I mean,
we
it has to look show
pretty.
you like all the shit, but like nobody wants to see all the shit,
exactly.
So I mean,
exactly.
and we've done plenty of videos where people still see all the shit because sometimes we
like
don't give a fuck.
Yeah, the fence one, that was great.
Yes, but
it's very funny.
Anyways, other than that, thank you guys all for listening today, and hopefully we will talk to you all next time.
Happy homesteading.
Goodbye.